What's up, everyone? This is Mark Hill from My Card Post. You're listening to the Sports Card Strategy Show. There is no offseason.
This is Teapot from Sports Card Investor, and I'm loving the content here on Sports Card Strategy Show and the NoOffSeason.com Sports Card Network. Be sure to subscribe for year-round advice on keeping your portfolio up to date because there is no offseason.
What's up, everybody? I'm Paul Hickey with NoOffSeason.com. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Don't forget to get a free 30-day trial at NoOffSeason.com today to help you make money flipping sports cards, build your sports card investment portfolio, get unlimited advice from our experts, and take sports card school to navigate the hobby. That's NoOffSeason.com. Get your free 30-day trial today. All the data we use on the Sports Card Strategy Show is from MarketMoversApp.com. Use code NOOFFSEASON at MarketMoversApp.com to get 20% off for life after a free 14-day trial. All right, let's get to the Sports Card Strategy. NoOffSeason.com fam, what's up? It's Paul Hickey here. This is Wednesday, September 4th. This is the Sports Card Strategy Show. Today, we're going to talk about our top 5 cards to buy, graded, and flip. Are we going to go where they ain't at the start of the NFL season? Or are we going to dig back into some more football? Stay tuned for that. Insights from the start of the football season, specifically taking a look at my auctions so far and my listings, my selling strategy for football cards. I went to the mailbox yesterday and I saw a new SI for Kids edition with Brock Purdy on the cover. We're going to talk about that. Are there any gems in the new issue of SI for Kids from a sports card standpoint? Panini launches Panini College. Have you heard of this? You've heard of the NIL, of course. You've heard of Bowman Chrome University. We've seen college players on Leaf, Wildcard, Sage, many, many other brands. But have we seen Panini College? Do we know what that is? I'm going to break it down a little bit because that is a new announcement. So let's dig into it, everybody. And I'm going to say hello to those of you that are in the live chat. Sean Red 5 Cards, Brian Macklin says the man, the myth, the legend. It's Paul Hickey. Chad Dyer, my dog. What is up? Rusty Immagart. What's good? Good to see all of you. Let's toggle over to the IG window here since we're live on IG right now. Daily Duran in the house. Jalen Duran apparently is a fan of the Sports Card Strategy Show. Cam Thomas, a fan as well. That's Cam Thomas 24 Collector. Good to see you. Pretty cool cards. Nolansville has joined. Is that Nolansville, Tennessee, down the street from where I live? Interesting. MJ23 Sports Cards. Roethlisberger Collector 7. JPH Sports Cards in the house over on the IG. Joel Kaplan in the house. George Schurer in the house. What's up, everybody? For those of you listening on Apple and Spotify, get in the mix. Just DM me at Sports Card Strategy. Say what's up. Or drop a comment below over at youtube.com/Paul Hickey when you get a chance. But we know all of you on Apple and Spotify are supporting us, and we appreciate that. Michael Stone is in the house, says, love the show. You know, when I was working for the Detroit Pistons back from 01 to 07 in their media information and marketing department, public relations, if you will, there was a guy named Michael Stone who had a extremely popular drive time radio show called Stoney and Wojo with Bob Winowski. So not sure if this is that Mike Stone, but Michael Stone, good to see you, my man. Probably a pretty popular name, actually, Michael Stone, now that I think about it. But before we get into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip, courtesy of the formula at NoOffSeason.com, let's just kind of take a look at our football card selling strategy here for the beginning of the football season. On Monday, we talked about some price increases. Guys like Tetaroa McMillan, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, guys we made really good calls on in the offseason. Carson Beck, Let's take a look at what I've got going on here at my No Offseason Sports Cards eBay account. I went ahead and listed all of my Travis Hunter cards on Thursday night as Colorado beat North Dakota State, and those auctions are doing well. And the reason I did that is because you're never going to really see as big of a performance spike as what we saw from Travis Hunter. And even though he might equal that performance spike, and even though he might be the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy, what I've seen historically in the sports card market is the first week, the first week that somebody pops off, if you can list their cards in an auction right after that happens, you're going to see a lot of action and you're going to see a lot of bids. Now, this isn't the only way to win, but as you can see here, Travis Hunter 2023 Bowman U Chrome Purple out of $399 PSA 10, 7 bids already, $37. That's going to be a profit for me. Travis Hunter 2023 Bowman U Chrome PSA 9 auto, 6 bids, $102.50 already. That's going to be a profit for me. Now, there's 6 or 7 bids already with almost 5 days remaining. That's pretty big. I've got some other Travis Hunter cards of a similar ilk that have bids, that have quite a few bids already. There's a PSA 9 refractor auto out of $499, $112.50, 11 bids, 4.5 days left. And then Shedeur. So I actually have more shares of Shedeur than I did of Travis, a significant amount more. And I went ahead and listed, I would say, about 35 to 40% of my shares of Shedeur on Thursday night. That's my way of mitigating risk, right? I mean, he should continue to put up numbers and see an upward trajectory towards the end of his final season at Colorado, and as he looks to enter the 2025 NFL draft as a likely first round pick, potentially a top 5 pick, but a likely first round pick. It's nice to mitigate some risk by offloading upon a performance spike. So even though I was highly invested in the mini fuchsia or the auto fuchsia diamond refractor PSA 10, I have 2 of them. Out of Bowman Chrome U with the first logo on it. It's out of $150. I think I paid around $400 per. And so one of them, already 8 bids, 4.5 days left, already up to $340. And then I have 2 out of the orange out of 25 PSA 9 out of Bowman U Chrome autos in PSA 9. Decided to list one of them. I'm into them each for around $400 as well. Already 21 bids, 4.5 days left, $400 for that one. So you really see a lot of action when you go ahead and list right after a performance spike. So that's one strategy. And then I do own several Shedeur 2023 Bowman U Chrome First Prospect Auto PSA 10s, several of them, at least 5. And one of them decided to list one of them because those are going to be super liquid. And if Shedeur continues to have a hot start to the 2024 season like he did to the 2023 season, there's no reason why that shouldn't be a $450 card soon. It's already sold it's already over 300 of a recent sale, which is up about $75 to $100 to what my total cost is on all of mine. So I'm already winning pretty big. My auction still has 4.5 days left. 12 bids, already up to $194.07. People are kind of nickel and diming on their bids, like $194.07. But I do expect to see larger increases of bid amounts as the auction comes to an end. And those of you out there who are familiar with auctioning off cards, typically we don't see this action early on in an auction. You really typically see most of the action towards the end of an auction. So that's why when you can list after a performance spike, especially after a football game, whether it's college or pro, and have your card, don't be scared, be the one that's first to list it. and you're going to see some action. So it might strike you as a little risky, but I also did it with one of my 3 Quinn Ewers cards. Already have a bid on a 2023 Prism Draft Picks rated prospect Saturday star auto PSA 8. So that's one update, is that I think loyal listeners of the Sports Card Strategy Show probably will resonate with and probably are wondering, okay, what's Paul doing in terms of listing these cards that he's told us to buy all offseason? And Carson Beck, I listed one of my Carson Beck cards. I'm holding Beck a little longer because I think Georgia, unlike Colorado, has like pretty high expectations. And unlike Colorado, probably will be in the hunt for a national championship. And while both of those quarterbacks, Carson Beck and Shedeur Sanders, could be Heisman Trophy candidates at the end of the year, Heisman Trophy finalists, I think Carson Beck probably will need to see more of a performance spike towards the end of the season for me to profit on him based on where I bought in. Whereas Shedeur, I bought in so early, and I'm already making so much money on Shedeur that I can afford to offload. It'd be silly for me not to offload at least about 30 to 40% of my Shedeur shares. So, but I'm holding back more Shedeur shares. I mean, I've got another Fuchsia mini diamond auto PSA 10. I've got another Bowman Chrome U orange out of 25 auto, first auto PSA 9s. The second one I have though is a sapphire. So it's a sapphire orange out of 25. So that could go for more, could be interesting. The other football card selling strategy that I wanted to bring up today and spend a little bit of time on is the Panini Instant. So let's start with the RPS first look, because Andy Kaysen and I, and probably many of you out there who listen to the nooffseason.com Sports Card Network, Sports Card Strategy Show, Football Card Quest, you've heard us talk about the RPS first looks. And this was where you had Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy, you had Jermaine Burton, you had all the rookie running backs, you had some of the other wide receivers. The other big name wide receiver would be Brian Thomas Jr. You had like Jordan Travis, Spencer Rattler, Brendan Rice, so you had Ladd McConkey, he was a big one out of that. Luke McCaffrey was in it, right? But it didn't have Bo Nix, it didn't have Caleb Williams, it didn't have Jaden Daniels, it didn't have Malik Neighbors, it didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, it was missing a lot of the other big names. So what do you do with the RPS first look? Also, it took so long to get to us. I mean, that was the release that I was bitching about because it took 3 months to get to me. And I'm still waiting, by the way, on one card, and it's the Jermaine Burton out of 49 autograph. I do not have the autograph card that I bought from that release yet. So I have all of my rookie RPS first looks from Panini Instant, except for the Jermaine Burton autograph out of 49. But one of my Michael Penix Jr. just base rookies that I'm into for $4 a piece sold for $17.99 today. Somebody just bought it. I have it listed as a quantity. So I believe I have probably 23 left. I think I've sold 2. I think I sold one for $8. And then I said, you know what? Why do I have this listed for $8? That seems super cheap to me. I'm going to jack it up to $18. And I'm going to jack up some of my other Panini Instant cards that I've bought, which I'll talk about in a second, which are no longer available on PaniniAmerica.net. I'm going to jack them up because they're no longer available on PaniniAmerica.net. So when you do a pre-sale on a card that's still available, I think you need to list it at under $9.99, right? Because that's undercutting the Panini price that people can go get it for. But when it's not available anymore, because it's only available for about 3 to 7 days, depending on the card, now you're in a situation where you have supply that other people can't get from the manufacturer. So with Michael Penix and his RPS first look, just base raw, I just went ahead and jacked it up $10 and had to buy it now earlier this morning. So I've got the card in hand. I already shipped it. I mean, 69-cent eBay standard envelope. So when you think of, okay, I spent less than $4 for that card and I sold it for 18 minus eBay fees minus shipping, that's like an $11 profit on that card. And I still have 23 of them left. So Michael Penix Jr. not having really any other rookie card other than one other Panini Instant card in a Falcons uniform, that's actually going to be a pretty highly sought after card for probably for the next few weeks. So my Panini Instant RPS first look strategy selling right now is to go ahead and keep the Penix Jr., the JJ McCarthy, the Spencer Rattler, the other ones that I bought, a Jordan Travis, White Tiger out of 5, a Jordan Travis Jungle out of 25, Brendan Rice and Jermaine Burton White Tigers out of 5, and a Brian Thomas Jr. Jungle out of 25. I'm going to keep them in buy it now or best offer where I'm significantly profiting. I got an offer on the Brian Thomas Jr. that I'm into for $25. Got an offer for $75, and then it was immediately rescinded. So I'm not sure. My guess is that person went out and made a couple different offers on Brian Thomas Jr. Jungles out of 25 that are listed. Maybe got one for cheaper than that and just rescinded it. So, or maybe thought it was a different card. But that's fine. It's good. It's good action. It means people are searching for it. The other Panini Instant strategy I wanted to share with you guys, just an update, because Lefty and I talked about it last Wednesday, was the Bo Nix. There's 2 Bo Nix Panini Instant cards. There's number 11 and number 17. And Bo Nix obviously named the starter of the Denver Broncos. Lefty and I had a strategy there where we were going to buy 50 of card 11. We each bought 50 of card 11. I auctioned off 25 of them, and then I have the other 25 in a buy it now or best offer where you save up to 15% when you buy in bulk. So those are doing well. Those are doing well, guys. Like, I'm profiting on those. I'm going to have a nice Panini Instant overall update for you guys on this pre-sale to auction situation, or pre-sale to in-hand jack up the price situation later on in the year. It's going to take me a little while to give you a full update on all the Panini Instant, but nooffseason.com premium members will have a report. And in that report at the end of the year will be Panini Instant cards where we make the play of, let's buy it, let's undercut Panini on the individual cost. Let's try to profit for a couple bucks per card while it's still available on Panini America. Then let's go ahead and jack up the price when it's not available. And let's, worst case scenario, run auctions after we have them in hand, because they're not going to stay relevant very long. So the Bo Nix card 11 and card 17 have done very well for me. And just so you guys know, what I do on a pre-sale is, if I don't have the card in hand yet, I immediately message the buyer and I say, thanks for buying the card. I'm definitely going to send this to you as soon as I receive it from Panini. I give them a little update on when Panini expects to send me the card. And then I print the shipping label off in a PDF file and keep it in a folder so that there's a tracking number added. So it shows in my eBay account as shipped, right? I think that's important because you don't want to be a seller where you're late shipping items. But if you print the shipping label, and I'm using the eBay standard envelope for this at 69 cents, as long as it gives me the 69-cent option. If it doesn't, it gives me the $1.25 option. I've printed the label. I've printed it as a PDF file. I've saved the file name so I know how many cards I need to ship to that person, and that's my process for that. Now, one other tip on the eBay standard envelope. I've noticed that if eBay's not letting you toggle through, and I'm going to add this to Sports Card School. So for those of you who are members of nooffseason.com, premium members, you will see this in Sports Card School in the next few months. the way to toggle through to get the eBay standard envelope for a sale that's under $20, because sometimes eBay doesn't default to it and you're thinking, oh man, I got to pay $5 shipping or $4 to ship this when the buyer only paid $125. No, you don't. You can toggle over, and I'm going to show you how to do that at Sports Card School at nooffseason.com. But another little trick is if you're at the one, if your eBay shipping label cost shows $1.25, look at how many ounces that are in that, because if you change it from 3 ounces to 1 ounce, your shipping cost goes down to 69 cents. And why not save, another 40, 50 cents, 60 cents, because that's actually significant margin on a card where you paid $4 for it and maybe your buyer has paid $7, right? So why not? And the eBay standard envelope thing is much easier than I thought it would be. Lastly on that Panini Instant strategy, so cards I don't have in hand, other than the 2 Bo Nix cards. Caleb Williams 13, Panini Instant. Jaden Daniels only has 1. And Caleb Williams number 7, which is vertical. So I don't have those in hand, but because they're no longer available on PaniniAmerica.net, and because it is Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, and I do anticipate them each getting off to hot starts in their careers with no other pro uniform rookie cards out. I've got both Caleb Williams is priced at $19.99 and $24.99 respectively. The vertical one at $24.99, the horizontal one at $19.99. And I've got the Jaden Daniels, the only one is horizontal. I've got that at $24.99. So people will get volume discounts on these cards and people will buy them. I'm more of a fan of auctions, but I've noticed that people will buy it now. It happened with a Penix card today. People are just hype about the start of the NFL season. These guys don't have that many cards out. So I would highly recommend, if you're interested in, profiting a few dollars per card in bulk, the Panini Instant play at the beginning of an NFL season where these guys don't have any pro cards out yet is a play. Now, I actually did one. I'll shout out Interner here for a second, because Interner texted me a couple weeks ago and he's like, hey, did you know that the NBA RPS Rookie Premier First Look cards are out on PaniniAmerica.net? Shout out Interner, because I did not know that. And I decided, even though there's really no hyped up rookie this year, that I would roll the dice and do the same thing with a Reed Shepherd presale. So if you go to my eBay profile and you see the Reed Shepherd Panini Instant RPS Rookie Premier First Look, he's my basketball pick in that Panini Instant play. Sean G, Red 5 Cards in the house, is thanking me for the Caitlin Clark play. So you're welcome. I profited over $2,500 personally on a play all in that cost about $300 to $350 total. So anytime you can spend $300 to $350 and come out with a total net profit of over $2,500, that's phenomenal. And you need to keep going back to the well to look for opportunities there. So the Caitlin Clark Panini Instant, it was a draft night DN1. Those cards popped off. I was fortunate enough to get 21 out of 25 10s, 3 9s and 1 7. And so the 10s did very, very, very well. One of the 9s even sold for over $70, and a couple of the 9s sold for just under $50. So yeah, definitely. You're welcome on that, Sean. Red 5 Cards. I'm pumped. Brian Macklin has a question. We'll see if we can get to it at the end of the show. Jason Mann in the house. Wall of Fame in the house. Faithful 33. Good to see you. Chad Dyer is talking about the eBay standard envelope. How do you avoid the late drop-off metric? Yeah, the eBay standard envelope should be the solution. Should be the solution. Sean Red 5 Card says, I'm sitting at 2,300 profit with 8 PSA 9s left to end this week. Dude, that's great. I mean, Caitlin Clark, those cards continue to rise in PSA 9 just because people want them so bad. So Sean Red 5 Cards might out profit me from a dollar standpoint on that play. And look, I'm like, man, why didn't I order 50 of them, right? I did 25. Why didn't I order 50? Well, who's to say that I would have gotten that many 10s on the next one, right? But I will say that even people like Sean and Lefty, who didn't get as many 10s as I did, they're still profiting quite a bit. So I know that if you made that Caitlin Clark play, if you listen to me on the Sports Card Strategy Show and at nooffseason.com, you're making a lot of money. And that's what I want. That's what I want you to do. JPH Sports Cards, Vibros Collectibles, Yeg Slabs. What's up, my brother? I met Yeg Slabs at Fanatics Fest. Johnny Utah Sports Cards, Lone Wolf Sports Cards, Carolina Collectors 23, Mario LK02, D Harder 2319, Big Griff 77, Surgery with 3 Ys, Mr. Stay Puffed, SQ Matchmaker, Brian Callahan, G Hawk, Kyle Gem, A McCarthy, WNY Card Shark, Card Cash, Dre's Got Cards, Columbus Sports Memorabilia, Trade Deadline Cards, all in the house over at IG. Oh My Shoes in the house, youtube.com/Paul Hickey, and Arrowwood's Hobby Shop in the house. Arrowwoods, always appreciate you. Always appreciate you commenting at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. You just got to binge the Sports Card Strategy Show because Arrowwood said they missed the Caitlin Clark episode. You don't need to be in the live stream. Just watch the show or listen on Apple or Spotify within 24 to 48 hours after an episode comes out, and you won't miss anything. You won't miss anything. All right, so next up on the Sports Card Strategy Show, before we get into SI for Kids, Panini College, and upcoming releases, let's get into our top 5 sports card opportunities to buy, graded, and flip. So we've talked a lot about selling football, but what can we buy? Well, if you're not a premium member at nooffseason.com, there's a couple things you can do. Number one, you can get a free 30-day trial. You can get access to everything I'm about to talk about to make money flipping sports cards. Or you can just go to nooffseason.com, scroll down on the homepage, and look at all the recommended auctions ending soon that Interner and I are recommending for you. Because a lot of them are football, basketball, even baseball cards that we feel like you can make money on right now. So check that out. But I think I'd rather look at the data. I'd rather look at the data from the formula. That's how I choose to purchase sports cards. I built the formula for myself, and it's worked. And so as soon as I knew it was working for me, I wanted to share it with all of you. And every day I look at the formula and I think, what are the top 5 sports card opportunities that the data is telling me to tell people to buy on the Sports Card Strategy Show? And on Wednesdays, we look at already graded sports cards. So Mondays, we look at raw to grade. Wednesdays, we look at already graded. There's no real rhyme or reason to why we pick Monday raw to grade, Wednesday already graded, but there is a rhyme or reason to the fact that those are the 2 most safe, common, tried and true ways to make money flipping sports cards when not at card shows, right? There's obviously the card show margin flipping game, but you got to do that in show. We all can't get to shows all the time. So let's talk about how all of you can make money flipping sports cards right now by going where they ain't a little bit and buying basketball cards right now. Don't worry, there's still one football card in here for you football freaks that are just so pumped about the start of the NFL season tomorrow. And I'm one of those football freaks, by the way, but I'm also a basketball freak, and there's a baseball card in here. We don't have Lefty today because he's got too much going on with his other work life, and I threw a baseball card in here. Maybe he'll watch the show back later and comment on the video at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. But here we go. I'm going to count down from ROI percentage around 46% all the way to a 300% card at the end of this. So get ready. Giannis Antetokounmpo, his 2013 Hoops 275 base PSA 10. If you're a loyal listener to the Sports Card Strategy Show, you already know this is a card we've talked about consistently for almost 2 years, because it goes up and down consistently, and that's what we like. That's what we need to see. We need to pick cards that are historically proven to rise and fall during predictable times of the year. And it is September 4th as these words are coming out of my mouth, and nobody is paying attention to Giannis Antetokounmpo on September 4th. And that is why there is 46% margin, 46% net ROI in his 2013 Hoops 275 base PSA 10. The last comp of that card is $178. Thus, that is our target cost. This is a $325 card during the NBA season. Could be in October, could be in February, could be in May, but it will be a $325 card during the NBA season. Tried and true. That is a 46% ROI from just going in on a Giannis Antetokounmpo 2013 Hoops 275 base PSA 10. This is the base. This is the base. This is not any of the other variations of this card. Up next, a guy that we don't talk about very often because he's buried out in Sacramento where nobody really cares about basketball, unfortunately. And unfortunately, the national media doesn't really care that much about Sacramento, although Domantas Sabonis will be in a new Netflix series that is the basketball NBA version of quarterback and receiver. So get pumped for that. But Domantas Sabonis' teammate, De'Aaron Fox, his 2017 Optic Shock 196 PSA 10. That sounded good, right? Optic Shock 196 PSA 10. Last comp, $40. This is a pretty tried and true $75 card leading up to the start of the NBA season. So being able to buy it in early September, maybe flip it as early as 4 to 6 weeks later for $75, that's a 50% ROI. And if you can't flip it 4 to 6 weeks later for that $75 sale price, you probably will be able to during playoff time as Fox and the Kings push for a spot in the West. So 50% ROI on that one. Now the third card, here's your football card. Here's your football card, you football freaks. And like I said, I'm a football freak as well. I'm pumped. I had my fantasy draft last night in my dynasty league, and I wish I would have taken this guy last year, but I'll never get a chance at him ever again. Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua's 2023 Prism Silver 357 PSA 10. It's a $95 last comp card, and based on guys like Jamar Chase going into their second year, guys like Justin Jefferson going into their second year, we put $190 projected sale price on this card during the 2024 NFL season, and I feel pretty confident on that. Prism Silver PSA 10 doubling in price, giving you a 60% net ROI. Now, I mean, injuries could occur because we're buying in season at this point. Underperformance could occur because we're buying in season at this point. But there is demand for Puka Nacua. He's still hot coming off his rookie season. If he starts the 2024 season off at all like he did last year, this card's going up. This card's going up. So I like that play. When the formula suggests things, I don't always love it, by the way. Like, I don't equally love all of the 60% ROI plays that the formula gives us. The formula is the best tool that exists right now and the best tool that has existed ever in the hobby to make money flipping sports cards. There's other great tools out there like Market Movers, marketmoversapp.com. Use the promo code NOOFFSEASON, get 20% off for life. That's just a data tool. The formula uses the data from Market Movers to give you the recommendations, but we built a formula to make it a recommendations engine based on several factors, historical data being one of them, conservative sales pricing being another one when we talk about already graded cards, and we take out the fees of the marketplace, and we're very conservative on the total sale price. So 60% ROI, I mean, I don't always love all 60% ROI plays that the formula spits out from an already graded standpoint, but I actually really like this Puka play. It's going to be hard to get it at $95, but somebody just got it at $95. Why not you? Russell Wilson's dad. Why not you? All right. Let's go back to basketball. This is a guy I've been hesitant to buy into over the last few seasons, but I really like buying into him right now because the formula loves a lot of his cards, which means that overall he's down and that overall he will be back up shortly. And he just won an NBA championship. He just won his first ever NBA championship. And he plays for a franchise that should continue to compete for it. Jason Tatum. So Jason Tatum's 2017 Optic 198 red and yellow PSA 10. Not the best looking card you've ever seen, but it sells well. $79 most recent comp. And the math, historical data from the formula tells us that this is a $180 card easily during the basketball season. Could be October when he gets back on the court. Could be an in-season tournament. Could be an all-star break. Could be another playoff run. But it should get back up over $150, up to $180. So that gives us an 82% ROI. What other show gives you all this for free? And what other website other than nooffseason.com gives you a tool that runs hundreds of cards into a mathematical equation and ranks them against each other across all sports? All right. Lastly, the best opportunity to make the most ROI this week is a big time go where they ain't. It's baseball. Ethan Salas, 2023 Bowman Chrome First Prospect PSA 10. This is just a base First Prospect PSA 10. He was the darling of the 2023 Bowman Chrome release. Super young catcher in the Padres organization. It's an $11 buy-in right now. So $11. Yes, that's right. A PSA 10 of his sold for $11. This should easily be a $50+ card at some point in March, April, May 2025, possibly the call up. We don't know when it's going to happen, but that's a 300% ROI. And I ask you this. Again, the formula is math. It's an equation. It's definitely the best way to make money flipping sports cards, but it doesn't always mean you're going to make 300%, right? Especially when you're buying something already graded. It doesn't always mean you're going to make 300%. We get the $55 number from other similar prospects who in March 2020, typically at the beginning of the baseball season, March, they're in the position that Ethan Salas is currently in. Their PSA 10 Bowman base first cards go for a similar price. But even if Ethan Salas's card doesn't move up to $55 in March 2025, like the formula says it will, you've only spent $11 on it. So that's another reason why I like it. All right. Rusty McGart in the house. Good to see you. Paul, all your sports card info has become Cliff's Notes for me. So all in that I check the raw to grade and watch the cash flow in. No questions asked. Love you, Rusty. Rusty was the one who coined me the Dave Ramsey of sports cards, basically that I'm trying to help you make fiscally responsible decisions in the hobby, not buy into a bunch of breaks, not waste your money ripping a bunch of stupid wax, Let other people in the hobby ecosystem do all that stuff, and then just go buy the singles that you want based on what the formula tells. So there you go. All right, now, as I mentioned, I walked to the mailbox the other day, and I got excited to get a bunch of packages from people who are shipping me their cards to grade them. By the way, if you're a premium member at nooffseason.com, you can take advantage of our card review and grading service. So check that out. And for $25 a card, I do everything for you, and that includes your grading fee. So I go to the mailbox to get all excited to get those packages. And lo and behold, Sports Illustrated for Kids arrives. And who's on the sheet but Travis Bazzana, the number 1 pick overall in the 2024 MLB draft. Zachary Risacher, right next to him, the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NBA draft. Lamine Yamal, soccer phenom from Spain, FC Barcelona. We talk about him all the time on the Sports Card Strategy Show. And last but not least, and I'll explain why here in a second, Ludwig Oberg. Ludwig Oberg. For those of you golf fans out there, you golf fans out there who are in the hobby, like, you know how painful it is to be a golf fan in the hobby. Shout out Mike LaCusta, golf card collector, fondling cardboard. He knows what it's like, because there's not a whole lot of great golf cards out there. And so, like, Upper Deck doesn't do a great job putting golf cards out there. We know we've got Panini with a deal with Live Golf. There's going to be Prism Live Golf soon. It'll be interesting to see how those do. But there's really not great, like Scotty Scheffler, who just won the FedEx Cup, basically won everything this year, except for what Xander Schauffele won. He only has like one investable card, and it's his Sports Illustrated for Kids card from 2018. So Ludwig Oberg was at the top of the leaderboard all year long, and he deserves his own card, and Sports Illustrated gave it to him. So your official Ludwig Oberg rookie card is a Sports Illustrated for Kids card. And so I know you're probably all hype about Bazzana, Risacher, Lamine Yamal. Spoiler alert, Oberg has the best sales out of this sheet so far. You've got Oberg, his single alone. Now, mind you, this is a magazine. From a single magazine to magazine basis, sells for about $1 a magazine. If that. It's like 50 cents a magazine, basically. Maybe $2. Somewhere between 50 cents and $2 a magazine is what you're paying for this, right? Oberg's card has sold for, in Buy It Nows, twice on September 2nd and September 3rd for $9. And then on September 2nd, in a best offer accepted for $6.50. Travis Bazzana sold for $7.99 on September 1st and $2.95 in a Buy It Now, which is way underpriced, on September 3rd. So the magazine itself, to give you an idea of Oberg, the magazine itself, full magazine with the cards inside, sold for $9 on one bid on August 31st. So my recommendation for all of you who've been with us for a long time, since we started talking about Sports Illustrated for Kids cards like almost 2 years ago, is to list these out individually and do like a Buy It Now for Ludwig Oberg. Do like $15. Like, why not do higher than $9? Like, people are just buying these without making offers at $9. So why not go higher than that? You know, and like, I mean, you have no downside here. So I think I'm excited once again about this Sports Illustrated for Kids. And it's a shame Lefty's not on this episode with me, because I think he'd be excited too. We'd get his take on Bazzana. But he did an episode of Lefty cards earlier this week. So if you want your fill of Lefty, go check that out on the nooffseason.com Sports Card Network. It's on Spotify and YouTube. Go to leftycards.com to find it if you really want it. But I'll probably tear out my Bazana, my Oberg, my Risa Shea, and just list them individually for maybe like $15 each. Just see if I can move them. And probably my Yamal. So here's what the sheet looks like for those of you on youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Oberg is in the bottom left-hand corner. I've become a professional at tearing Sports Illustrated for Kids cards out of the uncut sheet. I've done it a lot. There's tutorial videos in it in Sports Card School on how to do it. So go to nooffseason.com if you're worried about tearing out your uncut sheet. Don't be worried. I've got some great tutorials at nooffseason.com. So just get a free 30-day trial today, and you'll like it. I promise. And if you don't like it, then just cancel your free 30-day trial before it ends, and then you won't pay anything, and you can't be mad because you didn't pay anything. And I gave you a bunch of free information to make money. Are you ready to start grading your cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. I'm not big on hobby news, but I think some things are worth talking about just because they might be on the periphery of what we typically talk about. So I think it's worth talking about this Panini College thing. So I'm on the press release distribution list for Panini. That's why we've had Jason Howarth on the show before. He and I have become what I like to think of as friends. And they have a good PR team. They do a good job getting news out there. Not everything they send out is newsworthy, but most of it is. So shout out to the PR team for Panini. Now, I think they've done something smart here. They've created a marketplace that they're calling Panini College. And they're partnering with a group called the Brander Group. And that's really neither here nor there. That's just in their press release. But it's officially licensed college collectibles. They've already signed several athletes to exclusive deals. Quinn Ewers, VJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson, Arch Manning, Dylan Raiola, Julian Sayin, and Zachariah Branch are probably the biggest names that they've signed exclusive deals to. We had Jay from Wild Card on the show. The episode right after the National. I think it would have been Monday, July 29th. If you want to go back, that's still going to be a great listen, a great watch. The Monday, July 29th episode of the Sports Card Strategy Show at youtube.com/Paul Hickey, on Spotify, on Apple. Jay from Wildcard did a great interview talking about basically how he prospects to go out and sign athletes to NIL deals before they can become Panini exclusive, before they can become Fanatics exclusive. He has to be ahead of them, and he signs them to autograph deals and NIL deals to get their name, image, likeness for player licensed cards. Well, Panini has really formalized this in a way that I think will help them sell sports cards. And in the process, give us maybe some opportunities to do some things from an NIL college standpoint. At the beginning of this show, I talked about how I'm making money selling my college cards right now that I've bought over the last 12 to 18 months. I've shared some data on how I've helped you do the same with guys like not only Carson Beck, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, the big names, but also some of the lesser names like Tetaroa McMillan. And that was a great call. And so we're helping you with a lot of different ways to make money flipping these college cards. And now I think don't go all in crazy on these, but maybe go check it out. If you go to college.paniniamerica.net, you will see basically a marketplace. That's my guess is that they're going to try to crush On It, because On It they've been on our show before, and they have a marketplace similar to this where it's like really good looking college and player licensed NIL cards, whereas Wild Card, Sage, Onyx, Leaf, they don't care about the college license. So they're probably less competition. Like they're probably not competition for Panini College, but I think On It might get crushed by this. Because like they're just really good looking college branded cards. Instead of saying first or rated prospect or rookie this or XRC that, they've come up with an NIL shield. So they're using this NIL shield to designate that this is essentially the college version of a base rookie card we're looking at for Will Howard right now. And I chose Will Howard because I went through this and it looks like initially there's Ohio State, there's Texas, and there's Nebraska. And my guess is that they've decided to just roll out this beta without, having significant amount of schools. But my guess is they're going to be adding a lot of other schools shortly. And that this will probably do pretty well from just maybe a collector standpoint, college football collector standpoint. It's also a way of people who are close to the player to maybe support the player a little bit by buying their card. Maybe autograph signings. You see like if a player is going to do a local autograph signing, I could see these cards being purchased to be taken to the autograph signing. I think there's a place for this in the hobby. I don't think it's a big investable thing, but I do think every once in a while, if you get a guy like Will Howard, who's, the quarterback for Ohio State, you could do a little bit of prospecting, right? You could be like, okay, well, what other cards does Will Howard have? And I mean, let's just take a look together here. Will Howard auto on eBay, he does actually have in his Kansas State uniform and logo, Bowman U Chrome first prospect stuff that I would much rather have. But I mean, for under $3 per card, if you get the 10-pack at Panini College, maybe there's a play there. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments at youtube.com/Paul Hickey or DM me. He also has this pretty badass 2024 Panini The National VIP Hyper Prism Auto serial numbered out of his jersey number 18. Very expensive though, $425 or best offer. But his K-State stuff is pretty solid. So I don't know. There's not a whole lot going on at Panini College just yet. But maybe it'll ramp up. Maybe there'll be autos there. Who knows? We'll see. But I thought it'd be worth talking about on today's show. Let me know what you think. All right, everybody. Again, check out Top Sports Card Auctions at nooffseason.com. That helps us out, helps you out, helps Interner out, because that's his job right now for us. All right, let's talk about upcoming releases real quick. Sports card release calendar. On September 1st, Upper Deck released Upper Deck Canadian Football League football. That's a yawner. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing with that? Really? Like, you guys care about CFL cards? I mean, that's pretty bad. I mean, Upper Deck needs to be focused on signing golfers. But we've got Panini Spectra Basketball 23-24, so there'll be more Wemby cards there. 2023 Panini National Treasures Football. This would be where you would, the big chase is going to be your Puka Nacua. Look at this Puka Nacua patch auto. That's pretty sick. Puka Nacua patch auto. You're going to have Anthony Richardson's going to be the big one. Because you don't have Stroud, you don't have Levis, you don't have Bryce Young in that release. 2024 Score Football. So we had the Score a Treat. Remember the Score a Treat? Now we've got Score coming out. These are today, by the way. So Panini Spectra Basketball, Panini National Treasures Football, 2024 Score Football, 2023-24 Panini Select FIFA. We've got 23-24 Upper Deck Ice Hockey tomorrow. And then on Friday, we've got 2024 Topps Pro Debut Basketball. Let's dig into what the heck this is. It says basketball, but it's baseball. So it's baseball. So it's like Walker Jenkins, for example, for the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles with the Pro Debut shield. So I get it. And I did misread it on Beckett.com. Pro Debut Baseball. So that's where you've already seen guys with their Bowman Chrome first and in their pro uniform, in their MLB uniforms at a photo shoot, basically like a fake game. It's a fake game, so they're action shots, but it's a photo shoot. The Pro Debut Baseball is like their first minor league the first game they ever played in with they're actually kind of cool looking cards. They're just not worth anything. 2024 Panini Phoenix Basketball, 2023-24 Panini Phoenix Basketball. So more Wemby. 2024 Panini Select NASCAR. Do not care about that. Brian Macklin in the live chat says, this is a suggestion for the formula. Check out the 2021 Prism Alperin Şengün Red Ice PSA 10 for your next already graded show. Buying where they ain't card for sure. So going where they ain't. All right, Brian. Appreciate that. Love it. I love it when the family is getting together and sharing information. Great job, nooffseason.com fam, on today's show. Before I hit you with the outro, Macklin also had a question. Brian Macklin. And for those of you who really want your questions answered the right way, please go to nooffseason.com/ask, because I really, really put in a lot of time and effort into those answers for premium members. And if you're not a premium member, just get a free 30-day trial. Go to nooffseason.com/ask, get a free 30-day trial, submit the question. BMAC says paid $350 for a Stroud Prism Silver and got a PSA 10. That's a big win, brother. That's a big win. Paul, would you put it up on auction now or wait for a big game by Stroud? It's Stroud. I think you start the auction. He plays the Colts in week 1 against Anthony Richardson. I think the worst possible thing that could happen to you would be if Stroud poops the bed or gets injured. So you just got to hope that doesn't happen. But what I'm doing with my Strouds, I'm putting all of them in eBay drafts. I'm glad you asked this because it goes into something that I wanted to say earlier in the show. I'm putting all of my Strouds, all of my Bryce Youngs, Will Levis's, Anthony Richardson's, basically all of my football cards into eBay drafts with a solid starting price on an auction and a 7 or 10 day auction, depending on the card. And as soon as that player pops off in a game, I'm listing it right then, because it's on my phone. I go into the drafts, boom, whether I'm out with the family, whether I'm in the middle of the stopped at a red light, whatever. I see that this player has popped off. I'm laying on the couch. Ideally, I'm laying on the couch in my family room and I'm seeing the player pop off and I'm listing, boom, from the drafts on the phone into a live auction. All right, everybody. Some more live chat love over on IG. Adrian Charlie, US Tiger 20, Thug 76, 54, 8 Sunset Cards. I smoked Fervor rapper. Game Plan Cards, Cigar and Spirits. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of the family and for being a supporter so that I can do what I do and love my life. I want you to love your life too. I want you to make money flipping sports cards. I'm Paul Hickey. For everyone else here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. To connect with us further, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Paul Hickey. Please also give us a follow on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy and on X at NoOffSeasonCard. We also have a Discord that you could join at sportscardstrategy.com. Everyone, I'm Paul Hickey. For the rest of us here at nooffseason.com, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.